Ooh, I'm a little nervous. I do my own sound effects, but you are professional.
That's exciting.
Okay, well, I'll do it, but
Okay.
I'm not going to look at you.
Okay. I won't look.
Welcome to the Kinda Nerdy Girls podcast with KJ and special guest.
Monica Rial.
There we go.
I love it. That was so awesome.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
You know what happened was, well, my husband, who is producing right now, is also my voice guy. But we moved our podcast. We did all this crazy stuff, and I almost left my purse sitting in the car. Oh my god! And our studio is upstairs, right? Like it's upstairs, and he could just go upstairs and do the voice thing. But I started making funny noises, and now
it's a it's like a disease. Like once you start making funny voices and funny sounds, you can't stop.
Right? No, well, this is what you do for a living.
I'm telling you, it's a problem because then you go in real life and like actually try to communicate with people, and then you're like, wait, why are you looking at me? Oh, because I'm making the sound effects of all of the things that.
I make so many noises when you're around someone who's not used to that. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I do all kinds of voices all the time.
Yeah, that's been me and my trainer recently. Like, I started going to the gym, and I have a trainer, and they're awesome. But, like, you know, they expect, like, the big, kind of like when you're working your muscles. And meanwhile, I'm like, they're like, what is that noise? I'm like, I'm an anime, so okay, whatever that means, sure.
Yes, and I think same thing. Just my radio background, like you have to be dramatic because they're hearing you, not seeing you.
Exactly, exactly.
All right. Well, we have heard you. Oh my, like over 500.
It's
like,
crazy.
How do you even come up with any more voices at this point?
You know, it's very weird. I've made a very diligent effort to make sure that every single character sounds at least a little bit different. Now, that got hard because for a while at Funimation, I was the only girl that could do the little high squeaky voices because now that you've heard my natural voice, you know that I'm more apt to play a child than like a sexy lady. So for a long time, I was doing nothing but playing these little bitty girls. And so I found that I would go into like the psychology of them and like, okay, what makes them different? Maybe they enunciate a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe they enunciate a little less. Maybe they have a lisp, whatever. So yeah, it's just finding the little things that might make them so different. Just a tiny bit.
I love it.
It's super fun.
Yeah, I mean, you get to talk for a living. You get to, embody all these different characters. And
it's so
do such cool
awesome.
Stuff. You're living the dream.
It's so awesome and so weird. You know what I mean? I'm like standing at the table, and I've been doing it for 20 years, and I forget because it doesn't feel like it's been 20 years. And then people come up and they're like, "What have you been in?" And I'm like, oh gosh,
all day.
What have you seen?
Yes.
Like, I'm not full of myself, but it might be easier to like break it down that way. And
right.
So yeah, and then I have this weird ability to remember like almost every anime and character that I've ever played. Which is not normal because I can't tell you what I ate for breakfast. But I've got that.
That's pretty cool. So if someone comes up to you and even if it's like something obscure or something you did 20 years ago. Wow. I hope we sound better than that.
I was going to say, he needs some mic technique.
This is con life right here. Did you get that?
I didn't even understand it.
I don't know. Oh no, he's going to keep talking. I swear, they haven't made any announcements all day. Well, they've got someone's purse.
Is that the speaker? Maybe that's wise. We're right underneath.
Oh, maybe. I hope someone understood that there was something about having somebody's purse.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
Luckily, you got yours.
I don't mind. Oh, my God.
Hooray for Jackie.
Okay.
Good going, Jackie.
So I want to know, our podcast is all about fandoms. Oh, my, are you for real? They want us. I heard that. They want us to get out. Okay. It's fandom meets fun. So we do everything we can to try not to get to the point where we're those fans that are complaining about everything. So trying not to freak out that at this moment Robert Pattinson might be Batman. Did you hear this?
No.
Oh my gosh.
That's an interesting choice.
Not what I was expecting.
No, me either.
I kind of thought that they would go with someone unknown, maybe.
Yeah. And that's something that does kind of suck. Like, I feel for, like, the on-camera actors, because I know that, like, Robert Pattinson is probably sitting around going, I want to do something cool. And then there's Batman. I don't blame him for that at all. But I also, like, hey, guys, let's look outside of the people we know and find some new talent.
Yes.
Or somebody who hasn't gotten to do as much, like Brie Larson?
Yes.
Larson,
yep.
But she was phenomenal in Captain Marvel.
Wasn't she great?
And I had never heard of her before. I'm sure she's done stuff, but I was not familiar.
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
I was like, who is this? Okay, this works.
She was great. So I'm like, can't we find some people that maybe haven't gotten their big break yet? Like, maybe they're doing, some small show for a cable network or something. Like, find them.
I would love that.
But I mean, go, Robert. More power to you.
Cedric. I'm good with it.
Yeah, exactly. Cedric. That's true. Much better than Twilight.
Yeah, we have to talk about your fandoms. It sounds like you're like into everything.
I am.
That we're into. Okay.
I'm into a lot of different stuff. My thing is I'm really bad about television. Like, if something starts to feel like homework, like, oh, okay, Monica, there's 8 seasons of this show and you should totally watch it. I'm out just because I have ADHD like a mofo.
Yeah.
So sitting down and watching that much. Now, I will say there is one show that my fiance got me addicted to.
Okay.
And half of the cast is here, so I feel like I need to say hi at some point.
What is it?
Lucifer.
Yeah, I love Lucifer.
Oh my God.
It's
such a good show.
Yes.
And I'm actually almost to season 4. He's already watched all of season 4, but I'm almost to season 4, and I'm like, I keep watching and I'm like, this is a really great show. I love it. I have absolutely enjoyed it. So good job, gang, on that. That's phenomenal.
I feel like sometimes when I'm telling people about it that they think maybe I'm actually getting paid to talk about it because I'm pitching it so much. I'm like, you're going to love it from the first pilot. The pilot's amazing. It's the best. And I do. I feel like I'm pitching it, but it's so good.
It's such a good show because it's got a little bit of everything. It's got that comedy. It's got the drama. It's got a little love action and familial relationships and stuff. And it's also got that whole ethereal vibe to it, which I love it. It's so good.
It's fantastic. We are actually, so when we travel, that's when we catch up on some of our shows because people think like, oh, you're going to a con and you're going to party with Tom Ellis from Lucifer. No, we're not. We're going to go back to our hotel room.
We're going to go to bed.
We're going to go to bed.
That's how you get through it without getting sick. You go to bed.
Oh, yes. Yeah, popping vitamin C drops and everything.
Yes.
And trying not to lose your voice by the end of the weekend, which I'm sure you don't want to do that either.
Yeah, it's rough because it's like I've got so many, and right now especially, like we're getting that gear up to summer and where it's con. And so like next week I've only got 2.5 days at home, and one of those is going to be just recording commercial gigs and anime gigs and all that. So it's like I really only have one day where I'm not talking. And so my poor fiance just has to understand, like, this is my do not talk day.
Ah, yes.
He's not always the best about it, but I'll text him and be like, don't talk to me. Vocal rest has to happen.
Yeah, my husband understands too. It's like if I don't have my voice, I don't have a job. So
it's terrifying.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you're watching Lucifer. You're gonna. Do you want to get a picture with them? You got a nice setup here. You're really close to the photo
what
ops.
I'm thinking? I would really love. My fiance is not big with autographs. Like he doesn't care about autographs. He doesn't care about any of that. But if I could get a picture with them and hold a picture of him, I think that'd be really
cute. We have done that. We've done that so many times.
Just to surprise him and be like, look what I did when you weren't there, but you were kind of there. So I might talk to, I don't know who their people are, but I might talk to them and be like, I will pay for this. I know that you guys did prepay, but I will pay for this. But please, just my fiance doesn't get excited about anything at conventions. Please let me do this one thing.
That would be so cute. And we were talking earlier. You are excited about another guest that is with us at Motor City Comic Con as well, because you've worked with him, but you've never actually seen him. David Tennant is here.
Yes, and I can't wait. I'm hoping that I can at least run by the booth and be like, hey, I know you're busy, but just love your work. It was great working with you because like we're in the show Genlock with Rooster Teeth, which is phenomenal. But we spend, most of the time I'm talking to David's character.
Yes.
But we recorded individually because the cast is like star-studded. It's got Michael B. Jordan, Dakota Fanning, Maisie Williams. Yeah. So getting everybody together was just not an option. So we all recorded individually. And then I went back and watched it. And it's just Gray, the director, is fantastic because you know a good director when you can record individually and it sounds like we were in the same room together.
Yes.
But David and I, some of our conversations, I'm like, way to go us.
Like we were really talking to each other.
We really sound like we're communicating. And I have no idea what that man sounds like in person. He's going to be really freaked out when he hears me because this is not at all what my character sounds like.
What do you sound like on the show?
My character is a Puerto Rican colonel, so everything is very low with a very heavy accent. So I feel like I have to be like, hello, Mr. David Tennant. It is good to see you.
Oh, my gosh.
And then be like, just kidding. This is what I really sound like.
I feel like you should do that without him knowing. Just start talking to him that way. He'll be like, I know that.
I know that voice. I think I do.
Have you watched Doctor Who at all?
I've seen episodes of Doctor Who, but that's one that I have. J. Michael Tatum is a huge friend of mine.
Yes.
I love him to pieces, but he's always like, watch Doctor Who, watch Doctor Who. And I'm like, I would, except there's like 1 million episodes.
It is overwhelming.
So I've seen episodes of it, and I'm certainly familiar with David. And, I know John Barrowman, and he's been on the show for a while. And so it's like, you meet little people, and then you're like, oh, I would like to check out, see what they did. And so you watch little bits. But I haven't watched the whole thing. Well, I'm sure I would love it.
Honestly, what's nice about The Doctor is that, even though their storylines intermingle, obviously there are things that are the same. You can just pick a doctor and start with them and watch their story. So
nobody's ever told me that. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, totally. If you understand the premise. Yeah. When my husband and I started watching it, we knew nothing about it. So after one season of Christopher Eccleston, and then all of a sudden it's a David Tennant who nobody knew, right? We're watching the show. And they really just
out of nowhere
changed the main character. We had no idea what was going on.
I think that's fun.
But now it's so fun, and you can get involved in one doctor's story.
Oh, okay.
So don't feel like you need to watch it all. You could start with David Tennant's story.
I like this.
Just fine. And if you have any questions along the way, you can
I
call
know who
me.
would hit it. You're like, I don't understand.
Yes, we can help you with that. Any other fandoms that we should know about you? Things that you love to talk about that we might not realize you're into.
Things that I love to talk about. I'm a nerd about British history.
Okay.
Like King Henry VIII and all of his wives and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
I recently went to Wales for a convention and they put me up in this really great hotel, but I was next to Anne Boleyn and I was like, oh, cool, Anne Boleyn's room. That's awesome. And I went to my room and I was like, I'm in the Mary Queen of Scots room. Bloody Mary all weekend. But it was awesome. I'm also big into Lost Boys was my favorite movie growing up.
Oh, my God.
So.
For real?
For real. It was my favorite. And I had like my biggest fangirl moment. I'm usually pretty cool at these things because I don't know who anybody is.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. But Rhode Island Comic-Con last year, Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patrick were there. And I might have had like a moment. I was like, just so you guys know.
They were at Horror Hound in Indianapolis last fall, and same thing. And Kiefer's just little.
And he's so nice. Like, we went to a dinner, and he went around the table to everybody and was like, hello, my name's Kiefer Sutherland. And I was like, I know. But thank you. That was very nice of you. But yeah, super, super sweet. And really, but it's kind of weird because 12-year-old Monica would have peed her pants.
Yes.
Peed her pants.
So we are the same age because on my birthday, I was still not old enough to see Lost Boys. And so my mom took me and a couple of friends to the theater and gave permission.
That was me too. Yeah. Really? Well, my mom actually came to see the movie with me, so it was not nearly as cool.
No, my mom was like, it's her birthday. She wants to see it. I have permissions from the other parents, and they let us go in. I thought,
that's so cool. That's cool,
right? That's what I did for my birthday, and so I love Lost Boys.
I love it.
Gosh,
such a good movie, and I feel like anybody that grew up in that time period that really attached themselves to it, is still attached.
Absolutely.
Eric Vale and I talk about Lost Boys all the time because we're like, it's a really good movie.
It is a really good movie. So you are going to be at PopCon with us in Indianapolis.
I can't wait.
Yay! Have you been to Indianapolis before?
Yes, but it's been a long time, and it was for an anime convention, so I haven't actually seen a lot of Indianapolis. So I'm
downtown
excited.
is so fun.
I can't wait.
And you're coming at a good time of year because the last time you were in Indiana, you got snowed in for New Year's.
It's okay. It ended up being fabulous. Jamie Markey and I went out and had steaks and then got drunk at the hotel bar. And some of you may have seen the videos we posted. But yeah, it was totally awesome. Like once we got past the initial, like, we're stranded on New Year's, then it was totally awesome. And we had a great time. So I'm super excited to come back to Indiana and see some of the same folks and hang out for the weekend. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, one of the great things about PopCon is it really is a big family. And I think that's true of a lot of the fandoms now and many of the conventions. But in all of the conventions that I've ever gone to around the world, the PopCon family is just fantastic.
They're such great people. I mean, like when I met Chris the first time, like I was just like, yep, that's a good dude. And the whole weekend, like talking to them and hanging out with the staff, everybody was awesome. And they go above and beyond, which I think is great.
Yes. So we will see you. It's just a couple of weeks away.
I know, it's so crazy that it's already June almost.
Yes. You can get your tickets. Go to popcon.us and see Monica. She's coming to Indianapolis.